purpose for marriage, okay? This is the first point. My second point is the blessedness of a marriage. Those of you who are married, I want to tell you, you are blessed. Those of you who are not yet married, I'm going to tell you that your blessing will increase exponentially the day you get married. I have experienced both. I've seen that, here you find parks where only families can enter, right? Last year, there was a mango festival in Souk Waqif. Anybody remember? A mango festival. So my wife and I went, and we saw a whole lot of men waiting at the entrance. They were not allowed inside. So we asked the police, why are they not allowed? He said, only for families. My wife almost cried. She said, don't single men, or these are not single, most probably they're married and their wives are back home. She asked me, don't they eat mangoes? Can't they buy mangoes? No, she was very upset. She was very upset because they can't go inside. So you can see, even in a non-church environment, they say, you stay outside. There's only, you have a wife, you can come in, only for families. There's a respect for a married man. In the eyes of God, there's an elevation, there's a promotion. If a girl's father and mother can trust that girl with you, you found respect in three people's eyes. The wife, she is mesmerized by you. She doesn't know how much money you have, but still she wants to be with you. But her parents will analyze you. Is he employed? What is his job? And will he take care? So you have the approval of at least three people when you get married. But what does the Bible say? The Bible says very, very clearly, Proverbs 18:22, the wisest man on earth wrote these words. Okay, who's the wisest man on earth other than Jesus Christ? Solomon. Solomon writes, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. I want to ask Solomon a question. Oh, so if you don't find a wife, you don't find anything good? No. Oh, if you don't find a wife, you will not obtain favor from the Lord? No. Rather than favor, it is God who said, it is not good for man to be alone. It is not good for any man to be alone. So Solomon puts it in the other way. He says, if you're not alone and you have found a wife, not a woman. I'm not looking for women. I'm looking for a wife. I want to marry only one wife. Wife is singular, right? Woman is plural. I'm not looking for women. I'm looking for a wife. So he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So you did not obtain favor from the Lord when you were alone. I want all of you single men to desire to be married. In India, Indian men mature very, very late. They are very, very dull. They're very, very slow. Because, don't blame the Indian men, okay? It's their mothers. Their mothers will, even if he's grown up, she will make him sit on her lap. Yeah. So this guy feels like a baby and he doesn't grow up. And so if this guy has not grown up and he's still childish, you know what is the remedy in India? Get him married. Because at least then he will grow up and have some sense and think that I must work for my wife. I have to, and find a job. It's like that. It's that bad. So marriage is like a quick fix therapy solution for a useless fellow. He's useless. He's just roaming the streets. Get him married. So they don't care about the woman. But, the woman has magic. She has magic. A woman has magic. This useless fellow will become useful because of her. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So I think the Indians got it right ultimately, by default. One way or the other, get him a wife, he'll be okay. Okay, here's the characteristic of a biblical husband. This is my third verse. No, this is my fourth verse, and my fourth point. So I'm coming to the end of my message. What is a characteristic of a biblical husband? May I request all the husbands to please lift up your hands? Okay, half of you are husband. The far end, okay, seems to be more women there. Okay, congratulations to all your husbands. I share your whatever. Because I'll get into trouble. If I say pain, I'll get into trouble. If I say pathos, I'll get into trouble. But I share in the respect that God gives to you as a man who's married a woman. God really respects, because Paul is forced to compare you with Jesus Christ. Paul is compelled to compare you with Jesus Christ and ask you to become like Jesus and do what Jesus did. And you want to know that verse where he teaches us husbands to become like Christ? Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. There's only one thing I'm asking husbands to do for your own wife. Only one thing. Only one thing. You know what you should do for your wife? Love is, love is in the air. Love is an emotion. You may get married because of love, but you don't stay married because of love. You stay married because of commitment. So I'm not asking you to love your wives, because we can say, I love you. But what Paul is asking husbands is, die for your wife. Be willing to die for your wife. Be willing to die to yourself. Die to your ego. Die to your pride. Die to that male, that I'm a man, so you must serve me. Die to that and love the wife. How? Christ loved the church and he gave himself for her. Christ died for the church. He did not count his life as something. He was willing to die and willing to give up his life. You know, marriage is a dying experience. Marriage is where you die to yourself. A man, you know, when I got married, I was 27. And I was an associate pastor in a very large church in India. That was my first ministry. So when I got married, I found that I would be very patient and kind and gracious to all the people except to my wife. I would be so tolerant. I would laugh it off. I wouldn't be insulted. I wouldn't, nothing would hurt me. There was no ego. There was no pride. I mean, people could speak anything and get away with it. And I was very gracious. And I conducted myself with a lot of grace. But with my wife, I was always angry. I was always with a long face. I was finding fault with everything she said. And my tolerance with her was zero, but my tolerance with the strangers that I've just, I just interact, and that was a mega church, so people would come and go. So with those people I was kind, but with my wife, I was so angry, and that male ego, and I was so, wanting her to respect me. I wanted her to talk to me in a certain way, and I expected her to answer immediately. As soon as I finished my question, she should answer. And I made unethical demands on her. Finally, the best part is, I found out that I was doing a lot of things wrong. It took a while. I thought I was right. I thought I'm trying to correct her and I'm trying to train her, and this is my mission in life, to make her the kind of woman that I want her to be. I was wrong. So I went to my senior pastor. I said, Pastor, I'm very, very kind, very, very gracious, very, very loving with everybody else. But with her, I lose my temper. I shout, I scream, I hurt her. I use not bad words, but I use abusive language, which will incise, her heart, hurt her, make her to cry. He told me something. He said, your salvation will be tested in your marriage. I said, this is a good piece of advice. My salvation was tested when I talked to my wife. Have I really been forgiven? Do I really know that Jesus died for me and accepted me? If he really died for me and accepted me, the parable of the unforgiving servant, he was forgiven a small debt, but he goes, a large debt. He goes and catches another person who owes him a small amount of money, and he's not willing to forgive him. He went and put him in jail. When I have been forgiven for so much that I've done, why can't I forget the things that my wife has done unknowingly? It's not out of arrogance that she speaks to me in a certain way. It's just that is how she speaks. So I think that it's arrogant, and I think that she's not respecting me, but she's not thinking that way. So I wanted to mold her to be just like I wanted her to be. I was not forgiving her and accepting her the way she was. God accepted me as I am. And then I started being patient with her. I haven't succeeded fully. I'm trying, but thank God I can tell some illustrations because she's not here. I'll be fine until she sees the recording, and then I'm in trouble. Here's my last point. Those of you who are unmarried, or for some, some unprecedented turn of events and some sort of situation, maybe you are a divorcee, or maybe you are even a widow. I don't know. I don't want to probe. But suppose you are single, and whether you were married or not, if you are a single woman, I just want to give you advice on how men observe you. It's a tip for women, because fornication, which is the sin between a man and woman before their marriage. Adultery is a sin between a man and woman after their marriage. So if I'm unmarried and the girl is unmarried, we are both committing fornication if we sleep together. Okay? If either of us is married, the one who's married is committing adultery, but the one who's not married is committing fornication. Okay? So, but if both of us are married to different people and then we sleep with somebody else, we are both committing adultery. Fornication and adultery can be prevented by one of the partners. Two people are sleeping together and they're not married. This could have been prevented. Which of them should be careful? Tell me. Should the man be careful or should the woman be careful? I want one answer. Don't say both. to prevent adultery and to prevent fornication, who should take the preeminence? Who should be making the decisions? The woman. The woman. Unless you put your foot down and say no, he's not going to get it. If you don't put your foot down and if you don't say no, he will persist and persist and persist. And men have a way of getting what they want. Be careful. Men can achieve anything with their words. Men know what you like to hear. And they will make sure you hear it. And men know which way you like to hear. The husky tone. You know, the Hollywood, histrionics. He will get you if he wants. But if you put your foot down, he cannot. He cannot. Here's a verse which I want you to remember. Men check you out. Men check you out. Men check you out. If you check the dictionary, there are dozens of words for a woman who sleeps around. But there's just one or two words for a man who sleeps around in the English language. It's a man's world. And the man puts labels on the woman, and he has a string of names for women who are easily available for sex. But there are only one or two words for a man who keeps sleeping around. Which gives you the disparity that we live in an unequal world, and the world is unfair to you, so you have to be smarter than the men. It's all in your hands. This is what Boaz tells Ruth. Boaz is a Jewish man, and he's a respectable man in society. Ruth is a widow. She's a Gentile. She's a Moabitess. Moabites are from the origins of Moabites is not very pleasant. How this ethnic group emerged is not very healthy. You don't even tell this in front of your children. But that is how they emerged. And a relationship between a father and daughter. And the son that was born when the father was drunk, and the two sisters, they make him drunk and they sleep with him and get themselves pregnant through him. One is Ammon, one is Moab. So God said the Moabites and the Ammonites, even for the 10th generation, they shouldn't come anywhere near the Jewish temple. God singled them out. This is an unclean generation. Their mind will be unclean. They will think of all the wrong men to sleep with in their own family. The women will be mixed. And she comes to Israel, and Boaz observes her. And then Boaz makes this statement about her. Ruth chapter 3 verses 10 and 11. Then he said, "Blessed are you of the Lord, my daughter, for you have shown more kindness at the end than at the beginning." In that, she's a widow, young widow. In that, you did not go after young men. You did not go after young men, whether poor or rich. You abstained from going after young men. Even though you're a young widow, you did not make yourself available.
You did not go after them, whether they were rich or whether they were not rich. You were simply not available. And Boaz observes that. So he's been watching her for a long time. And now my daughter, see, he gave his personal opinion. Now he's giving the opinion of the whole town. He says, and now my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you all that you request. For all the people of my town know that you are a virtuous woman. That means all the eyes of all the men were on Ruth. All the men, Ruth. I know you're virtuous, and all the men know you're virtuous. That means men constantly keep on checking women. You have X-ray eyes. More than that, you have AI attached to your brain. One look from her, you can understand everything. But with her eyes, if she shows her that you are not interesting and she's not interested, even if you stand upside down, you cannot attract her. You are so powerful. You don't know how powerful you are. Even angels watch you. Even God watches you. The men in the church, they watch you. The men on the street, they watch you. Your neighbor has checked you out. That guy, he has checked you out and he says, no use. She's not going to look at, she's not interested. So men are constantly checking you out. And you keep on, ticking all the boxes. I'm not available. I'm not interested. I already have a husband. He is a man of gold. I don't need you. You are a waster. God has already blessed me. You keep on checking all the boxes. They'll get the idea. So, for a society to progress is the woman who needs to show. That's why Proverbs 31 is talking about a virtuous wife. Is there any chapter in the Bible that talks about a virtuous husband? Think about it. Let's close our eyes and look to the Lord in prayer. I just want to make a request to all the men